Los Angeles sprawls beneath a golden sun, its skyline shimmering in the heat. Amid the city's chaos, a grand mansion stands in quiet elegance, perched on a hill overlooking the Pacific. This is the home of Daniel Pierce, a man whose name echoes through the tech world as the CEO of Pierce Innovations. Inside, the air feels heavy with unspoken grief. 6 years ago, Daniel lost Chloe Evans, the love of his life, in a car accident that shattered his world. Now he lives for one thing alone: his 5-year-old son, Noah. The mansion, with its marble floors and towering windows, is more like a fortress than a home, a place where Daniel hides from his pain. Enter Ava Miller, a young woman with a fragile grace, stepping through the front gates for her first day as a maid. She carries a tray of water, her hands trembling slightly as she moves through the grand foyer. Her dark hair falls over her face, hiding eyes that seem to hold a secret she doesn't even understand. She's poor, unnoticed, just another shadow in this world of wealth. But as she walks, something stirs inside her, a pull she can't explain. In her mind, she whispers to herself, "I don't know why I'm here. Every corner of this house, every breath of wind feels like it's calling me, but I can't remember why. All I know is I can't leave. Not yet." Daniel stands by a window, staring out at the ocean. At 35, he's a man carved from ice, his sharp features softened only by the exhaustion in his eyes. He's built an empire, but it means nothing compared to the void Chloe left behind. Noah is his anchor, the only piece of her he has left. He turns as Ava enters, barely glancing at her. To him, she's just another servant, insignificant. But in his heart, a quiet voice murmurs, "Chloe took my light with her. I only have Noah now." Sometimes, when I look at him, I see her face. It's madness, but it keeps me alive. The day passes in silence. Ava cleaning rooms she doesn't recognize yet feels drawn to. She dusts a piano in the living room, her fingers lingering on the keys as if they know a melody she's forgotten. Then, it happens. Noah bursts from the garden, his small figure darting through the glass doors. His dark curls bounce as he runs straight to Ava, throwing his arms around her legs. He looks up, his eyes wide and shining, and says, "Mommy, I knew you'd come back." His voice is soft, certain, filled with a love that stops Ava's heart. She freezes, the tray slipping from her hands. Water spills across the floor, but she doesn't notice. Her breath catches as tears well up, unbidden, unstoppable. She doesn't understand why her chest aches, why this child's words pierce her so deeply. She kneels, staring into Noah's face, searching for something she can't name. In her mind, she cries, "He called me Mommy." But I don't remember having a child. My life is a blank page before this job, a fog I can't see through. Is my memory lying to me? Who am I really? Daniel watches from the hallway, his body stiffening. His son has never called anyone Mommy, not once in 5 years. Noah barely speaks of Chloe, too young to remember her clearly. Yet here he is, clinging to this stranger with a trust that unnerves Daniel. He steps forward, his voice low and sharp. "Who are you?" But inside, his thoughts spiral. Chloe is gone. I saw her car wreckage, held her broken necklace in my hands. So why does Noah call this woman his mother? And why does her presence stir something in me, something I buried 6 years ago? Ava stammers. I'm just the maid, sir. I don't know why he said that." Her voice shakes, and she pulls away from Noah, her hands trembling as she picks up the tray. She hurries toward the kitchen, desperate to escape Daniel's piercing gaze and Noah's innocent trust. But as she flees, Noah's voice follows her. "Mommy, don't go." She stops at the doorway, her back to them, tears streaming down her face. She whispers to herself, "I can't walk away. That boy's eyes, they're holding me here. I need to know why he sees me as his mother. I need to know what I've lost." Daniel kneels beside Noah, brushing a hand through his son's hair. He says gently, "Noah, she's not your mommy. You know that, right?" But Noah shakes his head, stubborn and sure. "She is. I feel it, Daddy." Daniel's jaw tightens, his mind racing. He looks toward the kitchen where Ava disappeared, his heart pounding against his will. In his thoughts, he confesses, "This is impossible. Chloe died. I mourned her, built my life around her absence, but Noah's never been wrong about what he feels. Who is this woman, and why does she make my soul ache like Chloe once did?" Ava leans against the kitchen counter, her breath uneven. She clutches her chest, trying to steady herself. The word mommy echoes in her ears, unlocking something deep within her, a fragment of a life she can't grasp. She murmurs, "I've been running from something, haven't I? A past I can't face. But that boy, his voice, it's pulling me back. I don't know who I am, but I know I can't leave him, not until I understand why his love feels like home." The sun dips lower, casting long shadows through the mansion. Ava returns to her work, avoiding Daniel and Noah, but their presence lingers in her mind. Daniel watches her from afar, torn between suspicion and a longing he refuses to name. Noah plays quietly, glancing at Ava whenever she passes, a silent hope in his eyes. The stage is set, a mystery woven with threads of love, loss, and a past waiting to be uncovered. For Ava, Daniel, and Noah, this is only the beginning, a fragile moment where fate whispers of second chances. The days stretch into a quiet tension at the Pierce Mansion in Los Angeles. Ava Miller moves through her duties like a ghost, her hands steady as she polishes silver or sweeps the grand staircase, but her mind is a storm. Noah's voice calling her mommy echoes in her ears, a haunting melody she can't shake. She avoids the little boy's gaze, afraid of the warmth it stirs in her, afraid of the questions it raises. Yet every time she passes the garden where he plays, her heart pulls her closer. She whispers to herself, "I'm just a maid. I shouldn't feel this way." But his eyes, they see something in me I don't even know. Why does it hurt so much to walk away? Daniel Pierce watches her from his office, a sleek room of glass and steel overlooking the estate. He's a man of control, his world built on logic and power, but Ava unravels him. He notices things he shouldn't, the way she brushes her hair behind her ear, the soft hum she lets slip while folding laundry. It's too familiar, too much like Chloe. He clenches his fist, turning to a framed photo of Chloe on his desk, her smile frozen in time. In his mind, he argues, Chloe's gone. I held her necklace, the only thing left after the crash, but this woman, Ava, she's stirring ghosts I buried deep. I need to know who she is before she breaks me again. One evening, as rain taps against the windows, Daniel calls Ava to his office. She stands before him, her apron wrinkled, her eyes downcast. He leans forward, his voice cold but laced with something softer. "Tell me the truth, Ava. Why does my son call you mommy? What have you done to him?" Ava lifts her gaze, meeting his, and for a moment she sees a flicker of pain behind his icy stare. She says, "I haven't done anything, sir." I don't know why he says it. I just feel he needs me, and somehow I need him too. Her words tremble, raw and honest. Daniel stands, pacing to the window. He snaps, "You don't get to feel that way about my son. You're a stranger here." But inside, his thoughts betray him. She's not lying. I hear it in her voice, see it in her eyes. It's the same gentleness Chloe had, the same pull that made me love her. Am I losing my mind, or is there more to her? He turns back, softer now. "You don't understand what I've lost. You can't just walk in and take her place," Ava replies. "I'm not trying to take anyone's place. I don't even know my own." That night, Ava lies awake in her small room above the garage, rain drumming on the roof. She clutches a thin blanket, her mind racing. She murmurs, "His voice, his anger. It's like I've heard it before, that look in his eyes. It's cutting me open, but I don't know why. I've lost something, haven't I? A life, a love, a child. But every time I reach for it, my head screams in pain." She presses her hands to her temples, a dull ache pulsing as fragments flash. A man's laugh, a baby's cry, then nothing. Meanwhile, Daniel can't sleep. He pours a glass of whiskey, staring at the rain. Noah's words replay in his head. "Mommy, I knew you'd come back," he mutters. He's 5. He doesn't remember Chloe, so why her? Why this maid? He calls his private investigator, his voice sharp. "Find out everything about Ava Miller, where she's been, what she's hiding. I need answers now." In his heart, he confesses, "I'm afraid of what I'll find. Afraid she's nothing, or worse, afraid she's everything." Days later, Noah escapes his nanny again. Daniel finds him in the kitchen tugging at Ava's apron as she kneads dough. Noah says, "Mommy, make me cookies like you used to." Ava freezes, her hands covered in flour, her eyes wide. She kneels, forcing a smile. "I'm not your mommy, sweetie, but I'll make you cookies anyway." Noah grins, hugging her, and Ava's resolve crumbles. She hugs him back, tears slipping down her cheek. She thinks, "I don't know him, but I love him. How can that be? What am I missing?" Daniel steps in, his face a mask of fury. He pulls Noah away, barking, "That's enough. Go to your room, Noah." Then he turns to Ava. "You're confusing him. Stay away from my son, or you're gone." Ava stands, wiping her eyes. "I'm sorry, sir. I don't mean to. He's just so sure I'm someone I don't even remember being." Daniel pauses, caught by her words. He says, "Remember? What do you mean?" Ava hesitates, then whispers, "I don't know my past. It's all a blur." But Noah, he feels like a piece of it. Grace Pierce arrives that afternoon, her sharp eyes scanning Ava as she cleans the dining room. She's Daniel's younger sister, a lawyer with a knack for unraveling secrets. She pulls Daniel aside, saying, "I've been watching her, Dan. There's something off. She's too gentle, too broken. You said she doesn't know her past? That's not normal." Daniel shrugs. "She's just a maid with a sob story." Grace shakes her head. "Then why does she wear this?" She holds up a necklace, a silver chain with a tiny heart pendant, identical to the one Daniel gave Chloe years ago. Daniel takes it, his fingers trembling. He says, "Where did you get this?" Grace replies, "I saw it on her when she bent to pick up a rag. It was tucked under her shirt." "Dan, this is Chloe's. You made it for her." He stares at the pendant, his voice hoarse. "It can't be. Chloe's dead." "I saw the crash report." Grace presses. "Did you see her body, or just what they told you?" Daniel's silence is answer enough. He thinks, this is impossible. But if it's true, if she's Chloe, why doesn't she know me? What happened to her? The investigator calls that night. Daniel listens, his face paling. He says Ava was in a hospital 6 years ago, badly injured in a car wreck, same day Chloe died. No records before that, like she came out of nowhere. Daniel hangs up, staring at the necklace in his hand. He murmurs, "Same day, same crash. It's too much to be coincidence. But if she's Chloe, why the new face? Why the blank memory?" His heart aches. "I loved her so much it nearly killed me to lose her. If she's alive, I need to know. But if she's not her, I'll destroy myself chasing a ghost." Ava sits on her bed, holding the necklace she's worn since waking in that hospital years ago. She doesn't know where it came from, only that it's her anchor. She whispers, "This is all I have of who I was." And Noah, he's part of it too. I feel it in my bones. But Daniel, he hates me for it. Or does he? That look in his eyes, it's not just anger, it's longing. She closes her eyes, a memory flickering. A man's voice saying, "I love you," then darkness. She gasps. "Who are you? Who am I to you?" The rain stops, leaving the mansion in eerie silence. Ava's past hovers like a shadow, pulling her toward Noah and Daniel even as it terrifies her. Daniel's resolve hardens, torn between pushing her away and pulling her close. Grace watches, determined to dig deeper. Noah sleeps, dreaming of his mommy, unaware of the storm brewing around him. The truth is near, but it's cloaked in pain and love, waiting to break free. The Pierce mansion hums with an uneasy stillness, the Los Angeles skyline glowing faintly beyond its walls. Ava Miller moves through her days like a woman caught in a dream, her every step shadowed by questions she can't answer. Noah's trust in her grows stronger, his small hand slipping into hers whenever she's near. and it tears at her heart. She kneels by him one afternoon, wiping dirt from his cheeks after he plays in the garden. She says softly, "You're so sweet, Noah, but I'm not your mommy. You know that, right?" He shakes his head, smiling. "You are. I feel it here." He touches his chest, and Ava's breath hitches. She thinks, "He's so sure. It's breaking me apart. I don't know who I am, but he does. How can a child see what I can't?" Daniel Pierce watches from a distance, his jaw tight. The investigator's report burns in his mind. Ava's hospital stay, lining up with Chloe's crash 6 years ago. He clutches the necklace Grace found, its familiar weight a lifeline to a past he can't let go. He murmurs to himself, "She was hurt the same day Chloe died. No records before that. It's too perfect, too impossible." He wants to confront her, but fear holds him back. In his heart he confesses, "If she's Chloe, I've lost her twice. Once to death, once to this stranger's face. If she's not, I'm chasing a mirage, and it'll ruin me." Grace Pierce takes matters into her own hands. She corners Ava in the laundry room, the hum of the dryer filling the silence. She holds up a folder, hospital records, and says, "Ava, or should I say Chloe, this is you, isn't it? 6 years ago you were pulled from a wreck, barely alive. They changed your face, didn't they?" Ava stares, her hands shaking as she drops a sheet. She stammers, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anything before the hospital." Grace steps closer, voice firm. "You're Chloe Evans, my brother's Chloe. You survived, but someone hid you. Tell me the truth." Ava's head pounds, a flood of pain washing over her. She clutches the counter, whispering, "I can't be her. I'd remember him, wouldn't I? I'd remember Noah." But as Grace speaks, images flash. A car spinning, glass shattering, a man's voice screaming her name. She gasps, "Chloe? Am I Chloe? Did I have a family, a love, a son? Why can't I hold on to it?" Grace softens, touching her arm. "You were in an accident. It explains the memory loss. But this necklace, it's proof. Daniel gave it to you. You're his wife, Ava." Before Ava can respond, the door opens. A man steps in, tall and weary, his eyes sharp with recognition. Mark Evans, Chloe's older brother, says, "Grace, stop. She doesn't need to know yet." Ava turns, confused. "Who are you?" Mark sighs. "I'm your brother, Chloe. I've been looking for you." Ava shakes her head. "No, I'm Ava Miller. I don't have a brother." Mark kneels before her. "I had to hide you. After the crash, they wanted you dead. I told Daniel you died to keep you safe." Ava's world tilts, her voice breaking. "You lied to him, to me?" Daniel enters, drawn by the raised voices. He freezes, seeing Mark, a ghost from his past. He demands, "Mark, what are you doing here?" Mark stands, facing him. "I'm here for her. She's Chloe, Dan. I faked her death. The crash wasn't an accident, it was them. The people after your tech. They hit her car to get to you." Daniel's eyes dart to Ava, his voice raw. "You're telling me she's alive? My Chloe?" Mark nods. "We changed her face, hid her. She lost her memory, but she's yours." Ava backs away, tears streaming down her face. She cries, "I don't remember you, Daniel. I don't remember being her, but I feel you. I feel Noah. Is that enough?" Daniel steps toward her, his hands shaking. "You're Chloe? You let me think you were dead? Let me grieve you for 6 years?" Ava sobs, "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." Mark cuts in. "She can't go back to you, Dan. They'll find her again." Daniel shouts, "Who? Who did this?" Mark says, "The syndicate you crossed with your project. They're still out there." That night, chaos erupts. A black van screeches into the driveway, men in masks storming the mansion. Daniel races to Noah's room, but it's empty. Ava follows, her screams echoing, "Noah, where's Noah?" Grace finds a note on the bed, "Give us the tech or the boy dies." Daniel's face hardens. They took him. Ava clutches his arm. "This is my fault. If I'm Chloe, they're after me too." Daniel pulls her close, his voice fierce. No, it's mine. I should have protected you both. We'll get him back, I promise. They drive to an abandoned warehouse, Mark leading the way with a gun he's kept hidden. He says, I've tracked them for years. This ends tonight. Inside, Noah sits tied to a chair, his small face streaked with tears. Ava gasps, No, I'm here. A man steps from the shadows, sneering, Chloe Evans, alive after all. Hand over the tech, Pierce, or your son's gone. Daniel growls, Let him go first. The man laughs, No deal. A fight breaks out, Mark shooting at the men as Daniel unties Noah. Ava grabs a metal pipe, swinging at an attacker, her instincts kicking in. In the chaos, Daniel shields Noah, taking a hit to the shoulder. Ava rushes to them, dropping the pipe. She cries, Daniel, stay with me. Noah clings to her, sobbing, Mommy, don't leave again. As Daniel bleeds, Ava's memory floods back, their wedding under the stars, Noah's first cry. Daniel's I love you, she screams. I remember. I'm Chloe. I won't lose you again. Daniel looks up, pain etching his face, but his eyes soften. He whispers, Chloe, my Chloe, I knew it was you. Ava presses her hands to his wound, sobbing, I forgot you, but my heart never did. I'm here now, for you, for Noah. Mark takes down the last man, panting, It's over, they're gone. Ava cradles Daniel, Noah between them, her voice breaking, We're a family again. I'll never forget you, twice. The warehouse falls silent, the fight won, but the truth cuts deeper than any blade. Ava's past crashes into her present, a love lost and found in the fire of danger. Daniel clings to her, his strength fading but his heart alive. Noah's small hands hold them together, a bond unbroken by time or lies. The night holds its breath, waiting for their next move. The warehouse stands quiet, its shadows retreating as the first light of dawn creeps through broken windows. Ava Miller kneels on the cold floor, her hands pressed against Daniel Pierce's wounded shoulder, blood staining her fingers. Noah clings to her side, his small arms wrapped around her waist, his tear-streaked face buried in her shirt. Daniel's breathing is shallow, but his eyes lock onto hers, a flicker of life burning through the pain. Mark Evans stands nearby, wiping sweat from his brow. The last of the syndicate's men sprawled lifeless around them. The fight is over, but the air hums with something deeper, a reunion forged in fire. Ava's voice trembles as she speaks, her tears falling onto Daniel's chest. I remember you, Daniel. I remember everything. Our wedding, under the LA stars, the way you held me when Noah was born, your voice saying I love you over and over. I'm so sorry I forgot you. Sorry I left you alone all these years. She brushes his hair back, her touch tender, desperate. In her mind she cries, I lost 6 years of us, 6 years of him and Noah, but I'm here now, and I'll fight the world to keep them. I'm Chloe. I've always been Chloe, even when I didn't know it. Daniel reaches up, his hand weak but firm as it cups her face. He whispers, his voice rough, I lost you once, Chloe. For 6 years I lived in a cage of grief, thinking you were gone forever. Every night I saw your face, heard your laugh, and it tore me apart. He coughs, wincing, but his gaze never wavers. I don't care if you're Ava or Chloe. If your face is different, you're still you, still mine. I'll never let you go again, not in this life or any other. His thumb brushes her cheek, wiping away a tear, and she leans into his touch, her heart breaking and healing all at once. Noah lifts his head, his voice small but clear. Mommy, Daddy, don't leave me. Ava pulls him closer, kissing his forehead, her tears mingling with his. She says, Never, Noah. I'm your mommy, and I'm staying right here. I forgot you once, but I'll spend every day making it up to you. She looks at Daniel, her eyes fierce with love. We're together now, all of us. No one can take that away again. Noah smiles, a fragile light breaking through his fear, and Ava thinks, he's my son, my mirror. I don't know how I lived without him, without them. This is my home, my everything. Daniel struggles to sit up, his arm around Noah, his other hand still holding Ava's. He says, his voice gaining strength, "I thought I'd lost my family, Chloe. When Mark told me you died, I built walls around my heart, around Noah, but you tore them down, even when you didn't know who you were." He looks into her eyes, raw and open. "You brought me back to life. I love you more than I ever did because now I know what it's like to lose you," Ava sobs. "I love you too, Daniel. I felt it even when I couldn't name it. You're my always." Mark steps forward, his face heavy with guilt. He says, "I'm sorry, Chloe. I thought hiding you was the only way. I told Daniel you were dead to keep the syndicate off your trail. I didn't know you'd lose yourself too." He turns to Daniel. "And you. I took 6 years from you. I'll carry that forever." Daniel nods, his voice steady. "You kept her alive, Mark. That's enough." Ava reaches for her brother's hand, squeezing it. "You saved me. Now let me live again with them." Mark smiles faintly, a weight lifting, and steps back, giving them space. The paramedics arrive, rushing Daniel to the hospital. Ava and Noah ride with him, her hand never leaving his, Noah curled against her side. In the ambulance, Daniel murmurs, "Promise me something, Chloe. Promise we'll never lose each other again." Ava leans down, kissing his forehead. "I promise, Daniel. You're my heart, my home. No crash, no lies, nothing will take me from you." He smiles, faint but real. "Good, because I need you, both of you, more than I need air." Days later, Daniel recovers at the mansion, his arm in a sling but his spirit unbroken. Ava sits beside him on the couch, Noah nestled between them, a blanket draped over their legs. The Los Angeles sunset paints the room in gold, its warmth seeping into every corner. Ava runs her fingers through Noah's hair, her voice soft. "I missed so much, didn't I? His first steps, his first words. But I'm here for the rest, every moment." She looks at Daniel, her eyes shining. "And with you, I get to start over. Not as Ava, not as a maid, but as Chloe, your Chloe." Daniel takes her hand, his grip strong despite the injury. He says, "You never stopped being mine. I saw it in your eyes that first day, felt it when Noah called you mommy. I was too stubborn to believe it, too scared. But now, I see you, all of you." He lifts her hand, kissing her knuckles. "We've got years ahead, Chloe. Years to love, to laugh, to heal. I want every one of them with you." Ava smiles, tears brimming. "Then they're yours, Daniel, forever." Grace enters, carrying a tray of tea, her smile gentle. She sets it down, saying, "I always knew you'd find each other again. You two were meant to be. Crash or no crash." She ruffles Noah's hair. "And you, little man, you brought your mommy home." Noah giggles. "I knew she'd come back, Aunt Grace." Grace laughs. "Of course you did. You're the smartest kid I know." She steps back, watching them, her heart full. "You're a family now. Nothing can change that." The evening deepens, the mansion glowing with a peace it hasn't known in years. Noah yawns, his head resting on Ava's lap, and says, "Mommy, Daddy, I want us to stay like this forever." Ava kisses his cheek, her voice a whisper. "We will, sweetheart, forever and always." Daniel pulls them both closer, his arm around Ava, his voice low. "Forever's just the start, Noah. We've got a lifetime to make up for, and I'm not wasting a second." In his mind, Daniel reflects, "She's not the Chloe I knew, not the face I kissed under the stars, but her soul, her love. It's the same. I lost her once, but she found me again, through Noah, through fate. I've got my world back, and I'll hold it tight." Ava looks at him, her thoughts mirroring his. "I forgot him, but my heart didn't. Every step brought me here, to him, to Noah. This is my second chance, and I'll love them with everything I am." The sun dips below the horizon, casting a final ray across the room. Ava, Daniel, and Noah sit together, a family reborn from pain and loss. Laughter fills the air as Noah chatters about his day, Ava's voice joining his, Daniel's quiet chuckles weaving through. The mansion, once a tomb of grief, is alive again, its walls echoing with love. Grace watches from the doorway, her smile soft. They're whole now. Love won like it always does, leaving the promise of their eternal bond, a love that survived time, lies, and even death itself. For Ava, Daniel, and Noah, this is not an end, but a beginning, a story of hearts reunited under the Los Angeles sky.